to make an opening statement, you can, or you can just take questions.
Okay, thanks for all of that, Jeff. A little early, I think, to be talking about all of those standings and statistical categories, but we are excited about how we handled the 5-game homestand. I think after a year of not playing in front of our fan base to get sure, we'll schedule 5 straight home games and enjoy the friendly confines of Pinnacle Bank Arena. Now we'll have to take the show on the road, and as Jeff mentioned, we're going to be playing teams in San Diego and California that have, 3 super seniors, 5th year starting, and then 2 other seniors, 4th year players, players that they're just really experienced basketball teams. And so we are expecting just a much tougher challenge, and just going on the road presents its own challenges. So I think we'll learn a lot about ourselves over the next few days, and we're really looking forward to it.
Some of the margin of victory is about the opponents, but is there a quantifiable difference between beating a team like by 30 and beating a team by 65?
I don't know that we really have thought about that, Sam, and
Is it indicative of how much better your team might be?
I think that there is just a little indication that I feel like there's more balance and more contributions and more people kind of stepping to the plate. And when I look more at the 10 different players on our roster that have scored double figures, so far this year already, and some of those kinds of things as a better indicator for us than true just scoring margin.
Amy, great hype man, by the way. Jeff is awesome. Did you see this coming? I mean, are there points in this first 5 where you're like, holy cow, this is better than I even thought?
Throughout the summer, there were certain times where, just in practice, we felt like this has a chance to be a really special group. But I think that, over the first 5 ball games, I do think that we've had some new players, some freshmen that have really kind of stepped up and shined and brought us sparks and things that, you're not 100% sure if you're expecting that in game minutes like early in the season. And I think they've just been learning. You can almost see every single game that they're getting opportunities to really play significant game minutes, the growth and the learning and the advancement. And so I think that's the part that has really maybe been a little surprising for our staff.
Are done for your team's confidence, and has it changed their mentality from when you started just over a few weeks ago?
The thing, Kevin, that I love about this particular team is that their expectations have been high from the get-go, and that's half the battle. We talked about before we even played a single ball game that you have to have that belief and those expectations, and this group really has. And so they set some pretty lofty goals, and I think that they're striving to achieve those, and that's why we're seeing kind of an elevated confidence and just focus, and they're continuing to find ways to improve and not just settle.
For those folks that have not seen your team play and they see the 100-point games and the offensive rate that you're performing, how do you describe what you are doing that's allowed you to have so much offensive success?
I think the biggest thing when we really evaluated it is just the pace that we're playing, and I think it starts with pushing tempo, and we've always known that a player like Sam Hybe can push pace and be special in transition, and Sam's been kind of in and out a little bit here in our first 5 ball games, but I really think with Jazz Shelley and Allison Widener, coming in, they both just really aggressively kind of hunt in transition that paint, which creates a lot of offense for our team and just gives us more possessions and allows us to play at that pace that is producing a higher points.
Amy, have you been encouraged by sort of not just the amount of points you're scoring, but the balanced scoring, making it, I'm sure, a lot harder for teams to key in on just one player?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel great about that. I think when we go into ball games facing teams and opponents that have multiple double-figure scoring threats, and it does become a lot more challenging to game plan and find a way to try to slow or shut down all of those avenues. And so I think right now our team is really presenting that to opponents, and we've got some really solid presence in the paint, and we can pound it inside and go at you in that way. We've got some kids that can obviously shoot it from behind the arc, and players that really go in transition, and so I think that that balance is the key that we've been striving for, and we've been able to accomplish it so far.
You had mentioned that Jazz is really aggressive, but you also mentioned earlier that I think in the season that she kind of lets the game come to her. Yeah. And doesn't make a lot of mistakes, doesn't force things. How much do you appreciate her ability to turn the switch on and off even within seconds?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I think that's what's special, is to be able to play with pace and push tempo but not be sped up. And so we talk a lot about playing with pace and space, and we also talk about pace and poise. And she's got those just kind of naturally, instinctively. I mean, she's played a lot of basketball at a high level, and I think that leads to that kind of confidence. The game is, even when she's pushing tempo and playing with pace, the game is still slowed down for her, and she sees and reads things very well, and that allows our whole team to benefit.
With Maggie Mendelssohn's signing, what was that experience like, working with volleyball and your assistants and their assistants? What was that experience like for her?
Yeah, it was just so much fun. It's just so much fun. I think Coach Cook and I had a lot of really good opportunities during the pandemic to share ideas, thoughts. We had a lot of Zoom calls where we would just kind of talk and pick each other's brains, and he's been incredibly good to me since I've been at Nebraska. So then when this situation came up and we knew she's a special athlete and a special talent, it was really fun kind of coordinating on both of our ends, and we got to know their staff just a lot better through this whole process, and it's been a real collaborative effort from both staffs, both my assistants, their assistants, John's assistants, and just a incredible young lady and family, and we're so excited she's going to be a Husker.
Did you ever visit at the same time, or were you kind of going back and forth?
It was really, yeah, we never went at the same time, actually. It was kind of, we'd like to stagger it out, and there were a lot of, oh man, Jalen's surprising her today, and oh, okay, Coach Williams is surprising her at practice today, or, and we just kind of staggered out our opportunities, and obviously, we're co-recruiting a player, but we're on different recruiting calendars, and they might be in a contact period when we're only in an evaluation period. And so, trying to make sure that, we coordinated and made sure that they understood that, oh, okay, well, if Jalen came to see you right now, he could have contact with you, but I can't. I can only evaluate, and, those kinds of things. Just great communication and collaboration. It was a true team effort.
To ask you about the portal. I mean, coaches have bemoaned the portal. You guys have had some real success with Jazz and Bella. Who handles your sort of portal recruiting, or is that dependent on a specific coach and a specific position?
Yeah, I think it's really just dependent on location. We have certain coaches who really kind of focus on certain areas of the country and of the world. And in the particular case of Jazz Shelley, obviously we had a very long-standing relationship because we had recruited her the first time around, and so that allowed, once she went in the transfer portal, for our whole staff who was really familiar with her to be able to be involved in the recruiting of her the second time around. But a lot of that depends on just parts of the country and previous relationships, and potentially coaches, and who knows the coach, or the somebody that can connect us to people. So,
Amy, what do you want to see from the team in San Diego?
I want to see us take a step forward, and I think the girls have kind of identified that they want to strive towards being the best rebounding team in our league, and we're nowhere near that right now. So if we could take steps forward against some really experienced and veteran ball clubs out in San Diego, I think that will ensure that we're continuing to improve.
Anything else for Coach Williams? Okay.
Thanks, guys.
I'm going to